And you'll see it in the first episode. He's jumpy. He's jumpier than I am. You know, I know it. I sort of know what's what. You know.
I mean, there's a chase involved, and it's pretty alarming if you're driving through the jungle and you realize that you've got a 12-foot carnivorous dinosaur on your tail. It's alarming.
Can imagine.
And he's a hell of a driver too. I mean, I say that truthfully because of the stunt driving. You know, he was stopping it on a dime, and he did it repeatedly. I was most impressed.
That was one day.
You know, the impression you get is that, unlike a lot of shows, a regular, I say a typical TV show, that the scope of this thing, even though it's filming in a jungle and all, you get the impression that the scope of each episode is going to be a lot larger than we get usually on television. Is there any truth to that?
That's why I wanted to do it, because I read the script and I thought, there's no way we're going to be able to pull this off, and that makes me excited.
It's a big thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think that is the challenge of it is it's a very, very wide panorama we're dealing with here. But in the end, it really comes down to, do you care about the people? You know, you can love the creatures, but if you don't care about the people, if their fate is not really, really important to you on a week-to-week basis, then we won't succeed. But if we do, if you do care about the people, then I think we'll be in good shape.
So, Stephen, you've been in a lot of television series. You've appeared in a lot of shows. You even back. I was thinking about Gettysburg in 1983. You were that was a pretty big scope back then for that miniseries. And what is it about? You know, to me, Avatar, you're on everyone's radar now. And what about this script and this show drew you into wanting to be a TV series regular and to just, do the weekly series?
Well, when the script was sent to me, obviously the pedigree of the script itself just commands your attention right away. And then I read it, and I felt that it was a thrilling story that I read, and the possibilities of the story were pretty wide, and the role itself was a fascinating role. It's not in no way, as I said, would I consider it to be in any way a repeat or a recapitulation of Colonel Quaritch. It's a very, very different thing. If it's my lot right now at this time in my career to play, authority figures who have a military history, I have no problem with that, So it just struck me as something that was worth doing. And television, the distinction between television, film, cable television, all of that, it's irrelevant to me. It really is. What's interesting to me is story and role and the people you're going to be working with, and the potential audience that we can reach with this show is quite vast. It's a big roll of the dice, and that's the best way. To me, that's the most fun.
Quickly, I was just going to ask Jason really quick. How much backstory did they give you about you and the Shannon family? I mean, I know you filmed the pilot so far. Did they inform you about, some of your actions? Did you get any sort of backstory about you and your character and your family?
It's a very tricky area because a lot of the mythology and the story of the series, initially at least, I'm sure it'll deepen and get more complicated, involves that backstory. So some of the stuff they could tell me, some of the stuff they couldn't. They had to say, trust us, we know what we're doing, which always makes me nervous. It's Hollywood after all. And but there were family. I needed to know about the family stuff, so I got all that. What I wanted to know was questions like, why me? How did I really get here? Who helped me get here? Did I do it by myself? All those questions, and I think they will become integral to the mythological questions as we continue.
That actually kind of follows up on what you were just asked from what you guys know about your characters and what you shot. What relationships are you most interested in seeing played out?
All of them. This is a very interesting relationship because I think it's fair to say we're both sort of alpha males. So the question is, even in that primal way, what happens when we have different agendas? How do we negotiate those problems when he clearly is in control, he's in charge, but what happens when that authority is challenged? Also the relationship I have with my wife. We've been apart for a long time, and we're going to have to, again, lay out the rules of engagement for the marriage and how it's going to work in this new place. And also the relationship with my children. There's one child who I barely know. There's another child who's extremely angry that I haven't been present for the formative years of his life. Pretty much all of the relationships are going to be worth playing out.
Absolutely. I mean, clearly, to me, the relationship between Taylor and Shannon is crucial and central. The idea of a successor or someone to share the responsibility is both very alluring and welcome, and at the same time not something that sits very easily with the character. But beyond that, just generally speaking, the people who come to Terra Nova, who are drafted to come to Terra Nova, and then there are some who come by lottery, which is a separate issue, are powerful people. You want strong people, as colonists is what you want there, and so you kind of you postulate that the people who have come through here have come through with specific tasks, specific skill sets, and a real sense of themselves, their own power, and so there's a history of strengths and kind of conflicting strengths, among people here. So I like that, and all the people that are in the cast, I mean, are really strong, not only skilled actors, but they carry themselves with a lot of power, even down to our littlest cast member, Zoe, who's a little girl. She's got a wonderful sort of a sweetness to her, but also power and a feistiness to her as well. So I think that's the kind of stuff that conflict is made of, that drama is made of.
It's like an episode of The Apprentice, the way you include all these, type A personalities. You're like Donald Trump with better hair.
Well, I haven't heard it put that way. I really appreciate it.
I guess I'm most curious about, and I'm not. I know Life on Mars, I don't think you played a father of children, and I'm curious, what's that like, playing a father of 3 kids?
First of all, you realize that you're getting a little bit older, and second of all, I'm a father in real life, so when you get a chance to sort of play out that relationship, and there's always a part of you that you're bringing to it. It grounds it and makes it so much more real, I'm dealing with my son in the show, who's I guess he's 16, I think, and that could be, some of the scenes could be future scenes I'm having in real life with my son. He's much younger than that, but these are relationships that have been played out since the beginning of time, and will continue to play out. So I like the timelessness of it, but I also like that because I'm a father, I think I can bring some realism to it.
And just kind of to follow up on that, you're shooting on the other side of the world, kind of, and I mean, it sounds great to us, wow, but New Zealand. But did you know going in that's where it was going to be shot, and do you enjoy getting to work so far away from here?
Well, it's a beautiful place. I mean, when you get there, you go, well, thank God it was worth the trip, because it's a long trip, and it looks absolutely stunning. And it does, in a way, I think we all agreed as a cast, it does sort of make you feel like you have gone on a journey to arrive at a place that is kind of out of this world and very different to what we know.